So I went ahead and typed in casual button-down shirts. So I'm going to show you an example of the shirts and then of the golf clubs, just to show you that it doesn't really matter what items you're looking for. Like I believe that this is going to work regardless. So casual button-down shirts, which is an area I'm wanting to learn more about. You can see here that 140,000 search results populates. And so over here to the left side, on left navigation bar, you can see additional information. This is really what I want to focus in on. And I'm going to go down to the soles. The soles are important. So we'll go down here to the soles. And now it brings up all of the casual button-down shirts that have sold over the last 90 days. We got 52,000 results. Great. So I could go through here, look individually at each one of these, and then go to the next page. I don't want to do that just because I'm usually trying to build my Rolodex and just trying to build more brand awareness. So I'm going to come over here to brand, and you can see over here it kind of highlights some of the top selling brands: Columbia, LLB, Lauren Ralph Lauren, Polo, Tommy Bahama. There's a lot of them that have been unbranded. So I'll click on this, and what I love about this portion is that it brings up all of them. Okay, and I can look at the size, sleeve length, color, all those little left hand navigation um, points are going to be on here. So what I'm doing, if I'm just trying to build up my Rolodex of brands and just trying to see what items specifically, what brands are selling well, I come over here and I'm just looking at those numbers in parentheses. And generally I want to see a pretty good sized number just depending on um, how much it sells for. But you can come over here and really start to learn, okay, hey, this brand here does good. 511 Tactical, which is a brand I happen to see pretty often. We actually have an outlet here, so I know when I see it, go ahead and snatch it up. Abercrombie and Fitch, most people probably pass it by, but it does have some pretty good um, items in the product lines. Let's see here, scroll down a little bit further. Luciano Visconti, okay, Lucky Brand. So you can just kind of get a really good idea of what's selling. And something else that I really like to do, this is probably the most important thing, is I come down to the price. Okay, so we'll find, let's see where we can find the price. Okay, so we'll come down here to price, because let's say that I'm wanting to increase my average sale price. I'm wanting to increase the amount that I make per item as well. So I'm going to come over here and let's look for items that are a minimum of $30 and let's say a max of $45. I want to be able to be aware of a $30 item. I want to be aware of a $45 item whenever I go to the stores, to thrift stores, to go look for items. And this is a great way to be able to do that. So it's going to pull up all the brands that fit that category. So again, I'm going to come back over here and go back to our brands. Again, it's only pulling up the ones that are in that $30 to $45 range, as you can see here. And let's look. So Lauren Ralph Lauren, okay, I may check that one because I may want to go look at it. Lands End has some. The question I usually ask myself whenever I see a brand that I normally wouldn't pick up and I see that it's selling in a particular range is why is it selling at that price point? Is it because of a particular style? Is it vintage? What is it trending? Like, what is the reason for that item selling when it normally doesn't sell for that amount? Abercrombie and Fitch, Levi's, there's some Adidas stuff. And by clicking on this, you're able to see, okay, now I see why this item is selling it. And then you can possibly learn the right keywords for you to put in, because it could come down to a keyword that they're putting in that you may be missing out on. See here, American Fighter, decent shirt, Ariat. And just because the number is small doesn't mean that it won't sell quickly, or doesn't mean that you should bypass that item. Because look over here, Arc'teryx only has 20, but guess what? This isn't very easy to find. At least in my area, it's not like you don't just find a whole lot of this brand. So only 20 have sold in the casual button down shirts, and but it's a really good brand, and so that's why you have to do your due diligence. I like to just, like I said, go through all of them and just make sure I'm familiar with a lot of these brands, because if I come across it, I don't want to leave it on the table. Let's see here. Banana Republic. So there's some Banana Republic shirts that are in this range. Barbour. See here. Let's try to find one that isn't really mainstream, that we really haven't really heard a whole lot about, or at least I haven't. Let's see if we can find one. Let's see here. Hmm. See, I'm kind of surprised. I see this Norm Thompson on here because I have some Norm Thompson shirts and they've done horrible, but it's only been one. And you never know if somebody just like ended the listing and it showed up as a sold, or you never know what circumstances were behind it. But that's why you kind of have to do your due diligence. Let's see here. Uh, so Cabela's, that's probably one. Like I usually just bypass Cabela's. Um, we actually have an outlet here, or we have a store here, and whenever I see Cabela's, I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with it. But there are plenty of shirts that have sold for that dollar amount. So what that would prompt me to do is go figure out why it sold for that amount. Because if I've been passing up on some potentially, good money, then shame on me. So, and Panhandle Slim is another one that, I'll get it here and there, but I don't think too much of the brand. And so I don't even do a whole lot of research on it. And I just price it, maybe at like $14, $16, when looks like I'm missing out. So this is why I like to just come here and just kind of do a deep dive on information, because this is the stuff that is sold over the last 90 days. eBay is so generous to give us that information, and we want to take advantage of it. So let's look at some golf clubs. And I don't even really do a whole lot of golf clubs, but if I were going to be starting out, and all I did was type in golf clubs, went to the brands, these are all sold. I'm looking at a price point of $100 to $200. Again, I just want to be aware so that when I'm out at the thrifts and I see one of these brands, I know to go ahead and pick it up. I just want to familiarize myself. So I can see the Mizuno, which I thought was just baseball. Okay, apparently they have some golf sets that I need to, look into. And I don't know half of these brands, but like I said, I'm building up that Rolodex, and if I do come across something, I know how much they're worth. Let's see here. How do you say that? Rixon? Sirixon? I don't know. Tailor Made. I've heard of Tailor Made. Big brand. Let's see here. But see, there's just money out here, and because the brands aren't, well known, or because they don't advertise, sometimes we have a tendency to just pass them by, when the reality is a lot of those brands, have differentiated themselves, and they have their own market segment, and they've developed a cult following, so to speak. And so it's our job to go through and figure out, what those brands are and how much they sell for. So I'm even going to show you one more trick. I don't want this video to be too long. I just want it to be kind of short and sweet. But I'm going to come over here to, let's say, zip code, and you can even look like in your area to see, okay, hey, in my particular area, what has actually been sold. Okay, this is a great blueprint. And I'm seeing here, let's go back to this right here, and we can see, okay, hey, so 27 Callaway golf clubs, 24 of the TaylorMade. Okay, and that was okay, so 13 of the Odyssey. But this is just, it kind of refines that list a little bit more, and it shows you what's in your area, because everything that you see on eBay, you're not going to see that in your area. Let's just be honest. And so this just gives you a better idea. Okay, hey, this is actually in my area. And so when I see it, I cannot afford to pass it by. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video and if you found it helpful, um, leave a comment below and just tell me what you found to be most helpful. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And I can't wait to connect with you guys in the next video. See you later.